what I'm showing you is my brand new Stider PT. It is extremely close macro view here. Excuse the focusing, it is manual focus on my camera, but it's extremely high quality. So whenever I move things, it's going to be a little bit of blur. Just be patient. It's good quality overall. But the color tint makes it a little brownish looking, but it's not. It's black tones, gray tones, and blue tones here. This is the titanium side of the knife. It's basically a blue flame titanium, and you can see the pivot here. The pivots are large for compared to ordinary knives, but they're smaller than normal Stider knives. I will show you a quick comparison, if it'll show up, with the S&G pivot. So you can kind of see the difference there. The S&G has a much larger pivot point than the PT. I'll have to show you in a different view the comparison between the two if I can get it to fit. But again, this is the Stider PT. It's recently manufactured. It has it's actually a standard size pocket clip. The pocket clip looks to be the same size as any other Stider pocket clip, at least on the S&Gs. I'll try to show you for comparison. It's a little distorted in the camera here, but it's basically the same size. Focus that in a little better. Okay, so again, the pocket clip it seems pretty large on this little knife, but it looks good. It works pretty well. I preferred the pocket clip version instead of the CC version. The pocket clip also works as a frame stop. This is the frame lock here. You'll notice you don't have the it used to be called a hinderer lock, as you see on the S&Gs and any other Stider. PT is so small you don't really need that. So you have the clip to prevent that excess bend. You can see the clip does go all the way against the frame there, so it is a good working clip. You can see the thickness of the blade. It's thick for a smaller knife, not quite as thick, but close, as the S&G. Maybe a fourth smaller. Okay, and let's see what else. Good centered blade on this one. Okay. Alright, so, and you have the typical Stider G10 spacer in one piece matching up to the titanium. Okay. It's titanium on one side and the G10 on the other side, and they do it all in one piece. See that? Okay. So I did go with the black standard G10. They're all basically G10, but this is what I'll term just the standard, the most commonly seen G10. PT is exactly the same form, finish as any of the other Stider folders. Size is probably only 3.5 inches folded. Okay, the opened blade here. Talk about microscope view here. Okay, so you can see the blade size is legally about 3 inches. The cutting surface looks to be only about 2 inches. Okay, the total knife won't fit in frame here, but it's about 6.5, 6 1/4 inches, so it's a tiny knife. You can see that I went with the tiger stripe blade. Wanted something different. I actually did not own a tiger stripe Stider yet, so I happy with this one so far. Very sharp. Like I said, pretty thick spine compared to other knives. Sort of the point here, if I can focus that in. It's hard to keep it steady. Nice and sharp and extremely thin point there. Again, we're in macro mode, so anyways, I think you can get an idea of the blade here. Has the Stider logo. Okay. Has another Stider logo, made in USA. And that's all the markings on it. The lockup, in my view, is just fine. Not too early, not too late. And when I got it, the frame lock was manufactured really well. I didn't have to struggle to get it open or anything. So it works just fine. No real break-in period with this one. The only thing I'm having to break in is that the pivot isn't quite that loose yet, so it's pretty hard push to open the knife, but that will break in easily. Not a big deal. Pretty amazing there. When I got the knife, I knew it was going to be small, but I'm not very good at, I knew the specs on it, how many inches and all that stuff when I bought it, but never very good at judging that until I getting this perspective of it until I hold it in my hand. When I first opened the packaging and I looked at it, I thought, man, this is grossly small. It's almost toy-like. And that's kind of true, but it does fit perfectly in your pocket. It's certainly not a toy, and you know, you're really paying for the quality here. No, but the quality comes in with the actual, you know, opening the knife and using the knife here, how you hold the knife. I know it's extreme view here, but it's just solid when you open the knife and have it in your hands. It's just zero defects, no blade movement at all. How you hold it is just, there's no way that blade is gonna close or break on you. It is a hard cutting tool. The reverse grip is real comfortable as well for such a small knife. So I think the point there was that the grips, you know, reverse and forward, really work well for such a small knife. So I would say that it's a good knife. It's expensive, right, as with all Stiders. I would say that if you don't have a Stider and you're looking to buy one, don't start with the PT. PT is the smallest one. You could be somewhat let down with this if you started with it. I would start with the S&G. So good knife. again, no one needs a Strider or Strider PT. There's many other good knives out there, great knives out there for not even anywhere near this price. So if you're just into knives, you're collecting knives and have some money to spend, check into this one. I think it's a good one. If you need some help finding where they can be bought, feel free to ping me. But other than that, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks all.